Hi, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I like to make junk journal embellishments and junk journals out of old book pages, recipe pages, music sheets, the likes. And one of my favorite things to do is to make gift baggies and envelopes. So today I will show you what we will be making. This is using Campbell's soup cookbook, a vintage Campbell soup cookbook, and we're making little gift bags. I have done this video using a simple fold to create kind of a gusseted side so you can put stuff in each envelope gift bag, and it just, to me, it just looks a little better. It adds an extra little detail. The third bag on the right there doesn't have the crease, and I'm showing what it kind of looks like without. It kind of gets crumpled up at the top. The sides don't, I mean, it works just fine, right? But the sides of the folded envelopes, gift bags, look so much better to me. So I've stuffed some stuff in there just to add some thickness to the gift bag, as if that were the gift inside. In both, these are the same amount of things in each bag. The bag on the right, again, isn't folded. And to me, the one on the left with the folds look really well. And this isn't complicated. It's just two little folds. Here's the guts of an old cookbook, Campbell's soup cookbook. And I've left the spine on so I don't have a billion pages everywhere, or the wire bound spine. And you just need to grab two pieces of the paper from the cookbook, and this is basically what we're doing. We're gluing both sides together. And on mine, I like the little holes that were punched for the wire binding. So what I do is I just glue down the left side of one very, very close to the holes, and I go back up all the way up, just a very thin bead, and then I add a little dab of glue between each of the holes. And this is so none of this glue will seep out, and to ensure that both pages are stuck together. And then I take the other edge of the punched side and I line up the holes, and I think it's really cute because you can see it on either the front or the back of the bag, and it kind of just adds whatever you're putting in there. Like, say it's something bright red, you'll be able to see it just a tiny bit. I just love it. I thought it was pretty cool. And then with those two pages stuck together, glued together, you're going to bring in one side and fold it kind of just a little bit over the half mark where those holes were punched. Do the same on both sides. And then you want to make sure that the top of your paper is lined up straight. And, that will just kind of indicate that you have made a straight line. And then take your glue and just do one bead down the edge of that folded piece of paper. And with this side open, glue a bead down, which is essentially on the inside. And I do this so that each piece is glued to each other, and there's no excess flap either on the front or the inside. And then this is what we've got. We've got the shell of the bag. And I'm using one that I've already made because it's absolutely dry. And all we do is just fold up the edge about 1/4 of an inch. I tried using my scoreboard, but this paper was kind of fragile and it ripped out. So I'm just folding it by hand. It doesn't need to be exact. It doesn't matter. Give it a, medium good score with your nail or your bone folder, but don't go too hard in the paint, because if you're using really old paper, it will crack. And this is where the magic happens. So kind of open up your bag that you've made. Doing that one fold, you've created 3 folds. And basically, we're taking the middle fold and pushing it through to the inside of the bag just gently. And what you've done is you've kind of created an M. And that's the side of your bag, the gusset side of your bag. And you do that on both sides, just like that. It can be a little tricky. If your paper was a little bit sturdier, not so fragile, you could fold the 1/4 inch flaps both ways a couple times so that doing this part would be easier, but I didn't want to risk blowing out the paper, which I did a few times. So yeah, you just squish in the middle part, just like that. So the gusset sides of your bags are complete. And then all you do next is you flip up the bottom of the bag about a half an inch, whatever. I guess this part will really dictate how big you want your bag to be. I glued down the inside flap. I didn't do any cutting on this. I didn't want to do any extra steps. There's zero cutting except for a decorative cut that we do towards the end. And then I've just taken some just washi tape I grabbed from the box, just whatever. Like this is a recipe bag. You know, maybe if you've got cooking washi tape, that would go cute. But I kind of just do a Mod Podge of different things. These cameras are like vintage looking cameras, so it kind of just goes with the same vintage vibe-ish. I don't want to wrap the washi tape around to the back because that will keep your bag from opening up all the way at the bottom. So I just put it on for decoration and I trim it off at the edges of the bag completely. And then this is where we start to kind of embellish the bag. Here I'm just shoving stuff in to show, you know, just to give it some contents inside like it were an actual gift. I did a few things here. First, I punched holes in the top, and I was just showing that you could, you know, close it with washi tape and not do all this hoopla, but I like the hoopla. This first round, I just punched holes in the top of the bag, and I realized doing this, once I put my string through, the bag is still, you know, open. I get to the point where I've threaded the bag and I realized that I could do this better. This baker's twine was kind of hard to keep the two pieces together. So it's kind of finicky depending on what kind of string or whatever you use for your closure. So here, you know, I'm starting to realize, oh wait, the top of the bag is still open. And please don't judge me for my bow tying skills or lack thereof. So here we are. Oh, the top is open. So what I've done is I've folded over the top. And normally those holes wouldn't be there, but I'm using them now as a guide to punch in the same spot. And this way, when you put your string through and tie your little bow or whatever, the top of the bag is completely closed off. So no peeking whatsoever. And let's see. There's a third idea that I have. Not quite yet. I've taken my scallop scissors that I got in an estate sale, super old. They cut like butter through paper and fabric. I'm sure some people are clutching their pearls hearing that I've used it on both paper and fabric, but whatever. And here we go again with threading our string through, and it's probably somewhere around this point where I have another aha moment for the gift tag part. As I was doing this, I was thinking I'd just add a bulb clip and, you know, maybe a little hole punch gift tag and loop it through the bow or whatever. But what I've done here is I've taken an old Rolodex card and I've tucked it in the fold there, and I've punched where I already have punched now 3 times. And I'm going to thread the baker's twine through. And I'd done this part off camera, but I had, I recorded this part already, but I realized I didn't have it recorded. So I just had to do this real quickly again. Oh, technical difficulties. And tying the bow. Just like this. We're getting close to the end. So towards the end, I show another little cool idea. I just thought this was cute with the scalloped edge and adding, you know, an interesting piece of paper. And this one I did with an old vintage recipe card. And this here is the sneak peek for my next video on how to make a really pretty vintage one. So hope you liked it. Hope you will try this. It's relatively easy. No scissors, 3 folds, and 1 decorative cut at the top of the bag. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed my video. Please stick around for my next video of making the vintage themed gift baggie. And if you liked my content, please give me a thumbs up, a comment, and a subscribe so you can be alerted for every new video that I post. Thanks, you guys. Have a great day. Happy crafting. Bye.